Hello, I'm Jon A, and today I'm going to talk about the build season. Excellent. So, as an overview of the build season, what do? Well, we start today, the 6 weeks, with a kickoff, which we attend at WCTC remotely, for the national kickoff for Manchester. Then we go ahead and we design and build a robot, and then we ship it. So, next. So, alright, kickoff is the 3rd this year, and it is the official start of the season. So, we learn about this year's challenge, and then afterwards we explore all the things that we can do. There's usually, I have a field set up, and it allows us to get a real feel for how the game is going to play, because we get to see the actual elements. So then afterwards we do some brainstorming, and we read the rules together. Alright, so as you can see, we only have 6 weeks, and that means there's not a lot of time to get this done. We have to work closely, we have to work well together to achieve our goal. And all the subgroups depend on the other subgroups to get their work done when they say they're going to get it done, and it working to the point it is so that they can do their job. Alright, so our first week we generally get a good understanding for the game and then determine our strategy for playing the game. How are we going to compete in this particular challenge? So we develop a robot concept. Then we figure out how we can implement our strategy, and basically what's the best way we can achieve our goal for this challenge, and what are we capable of doing. Alright, so robot subgroups have a number of deliverables. Basically, after our first week, we have a basic design now, and then all the groups work together and hopefully build parts of a robot that can be put together. Alright, so one of the main areas is our chassis. It's usually the first part that's worked on. It basically is how our robot can move around the field, and depending on what obstacles we have to overcome when moving around the field, that basically determines what our chassis is going to be. So, yep, it's usually the first thing done, because it's the easiest to understand. Alright, and then once we're able to move around, usually the challenge requires us to manipulate some sort of object and do something with it. And we call that special function. So, let's see. So, usually it takes the whole season for us to develop our special functions, because these are the most intricate parts of our robot, and they do by far the most number of things. So they also require input, significant input from all the other subgroups to get them to work. Alright, so electrical provides power to the whole robot, and they have to work very closely with both the special function and the chassis group, because everything we do generally needs power. And then the control systems group. Once everything is capable of moving, we need to be able to tell the robot what to do, and then translate the user's input, the player's input, and then make the robot do something. So we start early, and we work hard developing a framework for getting it to work, and then once the other parts are done, we are left integrating them and making sure that our controls work and actually control the robot in the ways that we want. Alright, and then finally, in the last week, we like to do testing and driver practice. So basically once it is generally working, there can still be bugs in it, and we want to work those out. And the drivers also have to get familiar with what they're controlling, and then hopefully give input back into what can be possibly improved. In general, it's better to be able to fully use a robot that can't do everything than being able to barely use a robot that does everything. Alright, and then once we've completed our robot, or got as far as we could in the 6 weeks, we crate it up and we ship it. So, overall we spent a week for brainstorming and basically a week for testing, fixing, and practice. That means we have to design and build a robot in 4 weeks. That's not a lot of time. Alright, so this year we're going to be doing notebooks, which have been described earlier. But basically it's an engineering notebook and they have to be kept up to date at all times. And once a week the subgroup mentor will take a look at these notebooks, get an idea of where the students are, to be able to help them, and then also record their time for the participation. At the end of the day, when you know you're going to need something for tomorrow or later in the week, and it needs to be ordered, a purchase order needs to be created and given to your mentor as soon as you know you're going to need it, so that we can hopefully pool together many purchases and get them shipped at the same time and save us some money. Alright, while we're building a robot, other groups are doing things as well. So the award submissions all have dates that they need to be submitted, and also we're getting ready for the competition season, and all of their things need to be ready before we go to our first regional. And then finally, this year we're going to be implementing, hopefully, a nice calendar that's going to have the scheduled deliverables from each of the subgroups. And hopefully we can keep that up to date so that the other subgroups know when they're getting their things so they can readjust their deliverable dates. And then we'll be able to hopefully determine what we will be able to do and not be able to do, and then hopefully trim some things so we can complete the robot on schedule. And finally, does anybody have any questions about the build season? All right, thank you very much.